Wake up, babe. New Limbus patch notes just dropped, and IDs, and whatever. I don't know. I woke up, and I immediately saw on my phone that I got pung on Discord like 3 times. Uh, yeah, so they did the egos, the new Ryoshu egos, the new IDs, Mirror Dungeon 2 news apparently, and then there's also patch notes. Uh, Jeez. Okay, well, let's get it going here real quick. Uh, start quickly. Here. You know, it'll we're still experimenting with the pen tool. I don't know if I like it, but it is pretty convenient. Anyway, we got Lobotomy Ego Red Sheet Sinclair. First note is like it's competing with Corp Sinclair, so yeah, that's tough. This is gonna have to be pretty game breaking in order for it to be good. Well, not good. Like it could be good. It could very well be good, but to compete with Corp Sinclair, I mean, like, you know, it has to be like turbo nuts in order to be at least a side grade, you know. So, anyways, Sin lineup, Gluttony, Pride, Lust. I actually like that a lot. Pride skill 2 is very nice to see because most IDs have a general pattern of mostly generating their skill 2 resource, because skill 1 you try not to use until you absolutely have to, and then skill 3 you only see it like once in a while, you know. So most IDs tend to generate mostly what their skill 2 resource is. You know, not always, but usually. Right? Like some IDs like Corp Sinclair, all of his skills are good, so he generates mostly gloom. Because, you know, his skill 1 is not only okay damage, but it also is a setup tool, so you're going to be using it kind of frequently anyway, even though it's a skill 1. But like if you're talking like Kurakumo Honglu, you know, he's always trying to get as many cloud cutters in as possible, basically, so he's mainly generating Pride, even though mostly he has Lust in his deck, because, you know, you get 3 skill 1s, obviously, but you're not really using the skill 1s. So anyways, you know, Pride skill 2 is pretty good to see, and then Lust is whatever, you know, pretty good. Blunt Pierce, you know, Blunt Pierce, you know, that's whatever, it's pretty good. If we're talking like Blunt ID, obviously Corp Sinclair is going to be leagues better probably, but yeah, we'll see. And then coin count, 132. I actually do like 132. I'd rather have more coins on skill 2, because again, you tend to use skill 2 the most on most IDs. So, you know, getting a more beefy skill 2. I'm sorry if you can hear that. It's absolutely coming down outside. I don't know if you can hear that thunder, but it's extremely loud. But yeah, what was I saying? It was, oh yeah, you do tend to use skill 2 the most frequently, like I said before. So, you know, I'd rather have a more beefy skill 2, generally. So, you know, that's pretty good. I'd rather have, because, you know, I feel like the standard is like 1 coin skill 1, 2 coin skill 2, 3 coin skill 3. But, you know, swapping them, I'm down for that. Anyways, we'll start here. On hit, to inflict rupture. Heads hit if target has X plus rupture, gain talisman. Okay, so we're gonna have to read talisman then, in order to actually understand what's going on. On hit, inflict rupture by the count. When hit, gain rupture by the count. Turn end, at X plus count, remove all and take fixed damage by its count. Okay, so that's interesting. So he will gain talisman, which is a buff to himself, and when he has talisman, I'm assuming this is 9, because usually during the Abno fights, it seems to top out at like 9. So let's say it's 9 plus. Talisman, I mean. Not X plus rupture, that's not what I mean. I mean like at this count. I'm assuming this is 9. So, at 9 plus count, remove all talisman takes fixed damage by its count. Like, again, this is an assumption based on the enemies. I just seem to remember. Source, just trust me, I literally don't remember because those fights all like blended together, so I hardly remember. But I'm pretty sure they topped out at 9. So he'll gain a stacking buff, up to 9. And then for each stack of it he has, and whenever he hits someone, it'll give them rupture. So if he has like 8 talisman, and he hits with skill 2, I imagine it'll apply 8/3 rupture, which is like really good. Obviously, when he hits the enemy, you know, it'll also deplete a rupture stack. So you know, it's not like he's adding count or anything, but he's adding potency, which is, you know, pretty good. And that's like that's nothing to scoff at, to be honest. When hit, gain rupture by the count. That hardly matters. We don't care about gaining rupture by the count when hit, because our goal is just to not get hit as much as possible anyway. So that should hardly matter. And then, yeah, at 9 plus, remove all talisman, take fixed damage. I mean, you know, it's just critical mass. It's a critical mass type effect, basically. Alright, makes sense. To keep you from stacking it way too much. The fact that it gets reset all the way, though, remove all, is kind of tough. But that's okay. Proliferating talismans is probably going to be his main skill, just looking at the coin lineup. On hit, gain talisman. On hit, gain talisman. On hit, gain talisman. On hit, if target has X plus rupture, gain talisman. Okay, so he stacks a bunch of talisman on himself. And then the last coin, because again, when he gets talisman, he'll inflict rupture. So if this is like 5 plus, you know, let's just say hypothetically, if it's 5 plus, you know, gain talisman, this would be, you know, +1, +1, +1. So he would need, you know, 2. He would need 2 talisman before using this in order to get this effect. You know, which is probably achievable. Just, this is all hypothetical, by the way. But, you know, I'm just spitballing here. This seems like a good skill, though. Gain 3 talisman it seems like his character, this idea is going to be based around the talisman mechanics. So, it's a good skill, too. It looks like, which is nice to see, because again, like, as I said before I even read it, I'm like, yeah, we're probably going to be using this skill the most, but we'll see what his skill 3 is. On hit, spend talisman. On hit, give talisman. On hit, if target has talisman, inflict rupture counts. Wait, I actually kind of fuck with this. So he has a way to increase potency, and he has a way to increase count. Oh, but it's not like, it doesn't scale off of the amount of talisman the target has. It's just a binary scale. If target has talisman, inflict rupture count. So this is probably going to be like +2 or something. Rupture count, or like maybe +3, but I doubt it. It's not like, you know, because what I imagined, like, when I read it, was like, what I thought it said was like, spend all talisman, give all talisman to enemy, right? So if you have like 8, it would give the enemy 8. You know, you go -8, you give +8 to the enemy. And then, the second hit would inflict like 8 rupture count, and I kind of fucked with that. That would be crazy. For a 2-star especially, that's nuts if it worked like that. But I imagine this is just like, spend like 1 talisman, 1 talisman, and then, you know, it gives 1 talisman or something. And then this is a binary scale if the target has talisman. It's not like the more talisman they have, the more count they get. So I mean, you know, this seems pretty good. Actually, wait, hold on a second. When hit, gain rupture count, or gain rupture by the count. On hit. Okay, wait. This is actually pretty neat. I think, if we get more talisman support, like if we get one more talisman ID, because he seems very self-sufficient. If we get another talisman ID, this could be nutso, because you get an effect when you have talisman on you, and then the enemies also, when hit, gain rupture by the count. Ooh, I kind of like this actually. As a rupture ID, guard on use gain talisman, on hit if target had rupture gain talisman. That's a fantastic passive, helps you get snowballing earlier, and again your skill 2 will give you more and more talisman. At the start of the combat phase, give highest resonance by 2 talisman to the ally with the most health. So he's even a rupture support on the bench too. And it's not even abs res, it's just highest resonance. So this will go off like constantly. This seems like a great ID, honestly. Am I crazy? This seems pretty great for a 2-star. Definitely way better than like, what was the last one we got? Sloshing Ishmael? Like, that is a disaster. What was the one before that? I don't even remember. What was in Heathcliff's banner? Oh, Gregor. Yeah, like, this is way better than those. I feel like. I was ready to dismiss it as another garbage 2-star, but this seems really promising, actually, as a rupture support. I'm not gonna lie. He has more team synergy than Corp. Obviously, I don't think that it's going to be better than Corp most of the time, but if you're trying to build a more synergistic team, I feel like it could genuinely be good. Because Corp's main, his main strength is that he's non-synergistic and very self-sufficient. He kind of does his own thing, and he does his own thing extremely well, but he has very little team play in his kit. The only thing that he really interacts with is like nails and the gripping because of the fanatic buff that he gives himself. Because yeah, if you have fanatic, you deal 15% extra damage. I guess it doesn't say. I don't remember how much damage it is, but oh, it raises skill final power. My bad, I got it mixed up with this effect of his skill 3. I got it mixed up. Yeah, it raises final power by the units, by the effects count against units with nails. So he does interact with nails, and he does interact with burn a little bit, but there's not really that much burn support still. There's like an okay amount, but it's not like we're starving for... There's not like a demand for burn in the game right now, because there's no enemies that really interact with it. And then, you know, he interacts with the gripping, but he has very little team plays, mostly self-sufficient. So if you wanted to build like a more synergistic, you know, a more synergistic team around Rupture, I could genuinely see this as an option. Like, and that's rare for a 2-star. So I mean, hey, they did him pretty right here, I think. Honestly, I feel like this is pretty good. I might be tripping because again, I still like barely am awake, but I don't know, this seems nice. Anyways, update notes, you know, we'll just go in order. I'll try and glaze over the update notes quickly because I know these are kind of boring. You know, server enter maintenance, scheduled update will be performed as part of the changes to the mirror dungeons will apply after the schedule. Okay. As such, mirror dungeon counts and expeditions will be reset. That's hilarious that they specify it now, because the last time they changed mirror dungeon, they did not specify whether or not it would get reset. So I remember, like, me and a bunch of other people were, like, gambling, basically, on whether or not to run mirror dungeon, like, force ourselves to run mirror dungeon multiple times in an hour. I think it was, like, 3 runs in, like, an hour. Was like the time frame for like my time zone or something like that, so it was like really disgusting, and we were just like, dude, okay, but if the weekly bonus resets, you get to double dip in the same week post update. So, you know, and they didn't specify, so we were gambling, and if it didn't reset, then we were missing out, because this was like the mirror dungeon nerf, I'm pretty sure, where like per run you get more, but like you get less overall runs or something. Because it was when it went from 5 weekly bonus to 3 weekly bonus. So, you know, it was like nuts. But yeah, I'm glad that they're specifying it now, so people can actually, you know, they know to crunch. You will not be able to claim rewards for expeditions from before once the reset takes place. Yeah, okay, so it looks like we're gonna be having to rush the entire weekly bonus again this time around too for the mirror dungeon change. So, you know, at least they tell us. New target extraction, new content, Mirror of Mirrors, Mirror Dungeon 2, normal and hard. What does that say? I can't see. Starter buffs. Please refer to the notice link before. Okay, so I'm just assuming they're going to explain it later. I'm not going to read too much into it. Hard difficulty rewards is what that says. So I guess normal Mirror Dungeon has... Okay, I imagine how it's going to work. Again, I'm just going to read it in a second, but I'm assuming weekly and hard difficulty rewards apply at the same time. So it's like, you know, you can get, no matter what mirror dungeon you run, as long as you run 3 of them, you'll get the weekly bonus. But if you run hard, you'll get the weekly bonus and the hard bonus at the same time, is what I imagine. Anyways, major changes. Improvements for crashing during combat and mobile versions. Yeah, okay, sure. I mean, I don't play on the mobile client again because, yeah, it's just like, it's disgusting how bad it is. So I hope that's changed. Adjusted banner image scale to better distinguish main story chapters from others. I kind of like that, actually. Make the other banners a little bit smaller. I actually do like that. Certain enemies no longer appear in Mirror Dungeon. Okay. Hopefully it's like, you know, Hurtley gets removed, and like all the really annoying enemies that take forever to kill. Lifted Battle Pass display level display limitations. Display only level display. Okay. I kind of understand what that means, but it's not really worth talking about. Like explaining what it means, because you'll see it, and it does not impact gameplay. Fix the acquired sword filter for profile words if it's not working properly. Yeah, sure, whatever. Fix an inconsistency with the name of an abno. Only applies to the Korean version. Why is there an inconsistency in the Korean version if you're a Korean company? That's okay, whatever. 448, fix the battle announcer voice line playing after a certain enemy defeats multiple full balloon allies at once. Yeah, okay, sure, whatever. Fix the level displayed on the detailed info screen, not sure, whatever. Fixed an issue with the activation condition of Eagle Gift Phantom Pain before activates with. That's so sad. Phantom Pain was I mean, it's still pretty good. That's the one that gives you 15% damage on single target skills, which is like all skills. So I mean, it's still pretty good. I don't remember what the other effect even was, so yeah, it's pretty good. It doesn't matter. Adjusted the activation condition for the status effect associated with AEDD Gregor. Activates only when hit by a... Oh! Activates when hit by a gloom skill. That's surely better, right? Because if you don't remember, AEDD Gregor applies a debuff called Spark Discharge. Oh, they changed it on Dustloop already. Wow, that was damn quick. But yeah, when hit, the attacker gains +1 charge count. When hit with a Pride attack is what it said before. Gain +1 rupture count, then reduce count by 1. I'm trying to think of like, what are the Pride rupture skills, and then what are the Gloom rupture skills? Again, I did not really use rupture that much consciously. You know, I just treated it as basically bonus damage, so the only ones I know are like, you know, Rip Space and Rip apply like a tiny bit of rupture. Neither of them get affected. I guess Leap is a Gloom skill now, so that gets affected by this. Is pretty nice. Quick Suppression is a rupture skill, but it doesn't get affected. Branch of Knowledge, Sinclair Base Ego is a rupture skill, but that doesn't get affected. I mean, it's a good change because it interacts with his Rose Spanner ID more, I think. Yeah, because he didn't even have a Pride skill. So it interacts with Rose Spanner more, or not Rose, yeah, Rose Spanner. So I mean, it's more synergistic. I don't know why it was Pride. I don't do. Does a single Gregor ID have Pride on it? I don't think so. He's not a very prideful guy. I'm sure you understand. So yeah, there's not a single Pride skill in any of Gregor's kits. So, you know, it makes sense. Sure. That's for sure gonna be a buff. I think. I think that's for sure gonna be a buff because Pride is a little bit harder to come by than Gloom is. Any issue, fixed an issue or certain status effects that increase or decrease sin for the power for sin affinity. Yeah, okay. Currently, yeah, the list of affected. Yeah, okay. I mean, they mentioned that earlier. I didn't say anything about it, because it was just like an offhand announcement that they made. But yeah, I don't know if you've seen videos, but there's videos of like Isang, hitting with Sun Shower for like over 2,000 damage, because of the Sin Affinity, the specific Sin Affinity power up and down effects currently per stack increase by you know, if you have one stack, it increases damage by 100%. It's intended to be 10%, just like everything else for power up, but they added an extra 0. So if you have one stack, you deal double damage. If you have 2 stacks, you deal triple damage. 4 stacks, quadruple damage, etc. So it's like turbo broken right now. But I mean, again, there's like no relevant content that was affected by this. So, you know, thankfully it was not in Railway, because that would fucking blow. And then I'm assuming this is the lunacy compensation. Yeah, okay, we get 500 and 300. Cool. Moving on to Mirror Dungeon change, I guess. Where's the start of Mirror Dungeon change? Oh my god, there's so much. Okay. New contents of Mirror Dungeon, date after scheduled maintenance. Requirements, clear 454 and mirror the beginning. Intro, in Mirror Dungeon 2, you can earn large sums of Battle Pass XP. Okay. And then hard will be unlocked July 6th. Sure, yeah, okay. Ank module not required for entry. Wow, wait, that's insane. No modules anymore? That's cool. When an expedition's over, rewards are provided based on number of floors and nodes reached. Okay, sure. The player may choose whether to use Ank modules to claim them. What the fuck is the point? Bro, okay, well, no one's running Mirror Dungeon for fun. First of all, like, that's stupid. What? Okay. I mean, they're just moving the Ank to the bottom. Oh, okay. No, I get it. The reason why is because if you go in, and you have, like, a shit run, like, you have a, for some reason, like, let's say you're a new player or something, you go in, right now you would -3, and if you lose on, like, floor 2, you would get, like, piss rewards. You get, like, piss rewards, and you still get -3 modules. But now, if you are going in, and if you're going in and you get like a piss run and you lose on like floor 2, you can just you can choose not to use the Ank to get like the piss rewards. So I mean, I guess it makes sense, and it's also a good change for the hard mode Mirror Dungeon, because if it's truly hard, and everyone's like getting their ass beat, I could see it actually making a difference. So that's cool. Honestly, I mean, it's a good change. And also it helps the weirdos who like want to do solo Mirror Dungeon runs for whatever reason. They're like, yeah, solo LobCorp Faust in Mirror Dungeon. You know, not the most fun for me, but you know, some people roll that way. Yeah, sure. In accordance, yeah, let's in accordance with these changes, daily free entries and simulations will be removed once Mirror Dungeons. Sure. I mean, that's kind of unfortunate, but I mean, I'm sure everyone and their mother has like 200 plus modules. I know I do. So, I mean, I don't really care. And yeah, I mean, the simulations getting removed makes sense, because now it's essentially all of them are simulations. Anyway, so that's fine. And then changes to clear rewards, aims. In Mirror Dungeons, you can earn pass XP based on the number of floors. That's the same. Each expedition to Mirror Dungeon is now expected to be longer. Yeah, okay, makes sense. We determined lengthening the playtime for repetitive contents will come off as burdensome. To many players, yes, I am many players. I fucking despise Mirror Dungeon, it's so boring. Okay, as such, even if you only clear up to floor 3 of Mirror Dungeon 2, you can still be able to earn 80% of past XP and 100% of lunacy. 5? Floor 5? Fuck, bro, no way. I was like, dude, okay, so like, you know, I thought this was like, you know, it would have 3 floors, and if you clear past floor 2, you'll earn 80% of past XP and 100% of lunacy. But no, there's actually 5 floors. This is news to me. I don't know if because again, I have not been paying attention to any Mirror Dungeon announcements if they made them, so I don't know if this was known before. But, like, this is news to me, bro. Fuck. Oh my god, dude. Mirror Dungeon, my worst enemy. Whatever. The table. Okay, let's go through this real quick. The rewards is the only thing I'm here for, so... with bonus, what the fuck? Okay, hold on. With bonus, lunacy 250, yeah, ego shard nominable by 5, yeah, that's basically what it is. And then 20 battle pass XP, true. Mirror Dungeon 1, you get less battle pass XP. And you don't get boxes anymore? Oh, shit. You don't get boxes anymore. Okay. 45 XP? Holy. 75 XP? Holy. Oh my god. And then without bonus, yeah, you just get XP, sure. Wait, so you don't get boxes anymore? Oh, that's fucked. Good. Farewell, most generous gacha game in recent history, bro. GG. You don't get crates anymore. Oh, that's doomed. Comparison between Mirror Dungeon based on final floor clears. Okay, so 5, 6. Okay, so this will cause hard mode will cause double the amount that normal MD takes. Again, I don't really care because we all have a million modules. Pass XP wise, it looks like 3 was about 9 in value. Okay, so, you know, each is worth about 3 here, and then here, I mean, this is not an equal division, but it's like around 8 per-ish. So, it's more efficient to run Mirror Dungeon 2, which is nice. Manager XP, I mean, yeah, this just scales 20 per module. You get 1 XP for every enkephalon you spend in any content, so this is like, you know, this doesn't change. Floors 5, nodes 30. Okay, sure. Change the weekly bonus. Weekly bonus will no longer provide ego shard related items. Yeah, like, that's a very controversial change. As noted in Season 2 announcement, the nominal ego shard crates that you could have earned as weekly bonus have been integrated into Battle Pass free rewards. The number of weekly bonuses is like the same as before. Oh, no, okay, so it makes sense. It makes sense. For some reason I forgot that the Battle Pass gives you crates. I thought they were removing all farmable crates. I was like, dude, that's fucked up. Nah, they're just removing them from Mirror Dungeon reward. Okay, that makes sense. Because you're getting so much XP for hard mode. Like, you're getting so much XP for hard mode that you're going to be making up the crate deficit anyway. So, getting the crates from Mirror Dungeon itself doesn't really matter. Okay, so that makes sense, actually. Nah, it's overall a good change. I think so. You know what? Maybe I misunderstood. Applying the weekly bonus as the following: lunacy and yeah, okay, sure. Identity levels are fixed at a certain value upon entry. Mirror Dungeon number 1. Identity levels are fixed at a certain value upon entry. So you no longer have to level up all your dudes throughout the dungeon. They just start at max level. Okay, that's neat. That's neat. Unfortunately, it removes the god node of like the godly level up node, because it's not only a skip of one node essentially, because you don't do anything. So it's essentially one skip and you get a bunch of level ups for free. So that's like the best node in Mirror Dungeon right now. So unfortunately, I guess they're removing that because you start at max level now. Oh well. New resource of cost is introduced. Cost can be obtained through combat encounters and events, allowing you to deploy additional identities and ego, or partake of shop and rest stop events. On normal, the initial team setup doesn't require any cost. On hard difficulty, you're given a set amount of cost to build your team with. Oh, so there's like a currency system now for the dungeon. I kind of like that, actually. It's like a currency that you use to buy new IDs and egos to use. I kind of like that. It adds more interactivity. Obviously, it makes it more of a chore to farm, because it's probably going to be less and less autoable and require more and more brain power. Which, you know, I mean, if you're trying to, like, blitz through Mirror Dungeon 2 for farming, because I know some freaks like to farm Mirror Dungeon, like, all day, every day, and they're, like, level, like, 80 or something, account level 80, you know, that's gonna be rough for you, I think. And then, let's see, starter buffs are newly introduced, starting with Mirror Dungeon 2. Starter buffs can be activated using starlights, providing various effects to aid your Mirror Dungeon expedition, and there's a bunch of Japanese. You know, my Japanese is pretty rusty, so I don't know what half of this says. You know, like, something something, I don't know, kanji, suru kote dekimasu. Sure, I mean, sure, whatever. Yeah, okay. Starlight can be, earned by playing Mirror Dungeons. Reaching further floors rewards more. Okay. So note that Starlight rewards for clearing floor 5 are considerably larger than clearing up to floor 3. You cannot use Starlight from a Mirror Dungeon to activate starter buffs for other Mirror Dungeons. Starter buffs apply to both the normal and hard dungeons, but not affect other Mirror Dungeons. Okay. I think I get it. It's like, how do I describe it? It's like a legacy system that carries over. So like, if you do well in your previous Mirror Dungeon, you'll get good starter buffs for your next Mirror Dungeon expedition. And then if you do well in that one, it keeps going and going and going. So you can chain them over and over if you keep doing well, is how I understand it. It's kind of like, the only other game that I can compare it to is like Slay the Spire, maybe, where, you know, if you clear past the first floor boss, then your next run you'll get a little bit of a bonus upon start. You know, which helps you, it helps your success a little bit. And I assume it's something like that, where, like, you know, Slay the Spire, you clear the first floor boss, and then, you know, your next run, the big whale will be like, yeah, you did good last time, so, you know, take, like, a free card or, like, free max HP or something. So, you know, okay, I imagine it's similar to that. And then you can't use, like, normal Mirror Dungeon Starlight on the hard one, I guess. I don't know, we'll see how it works. Floor-based enemy buffs. Starting in Mirror Dungeon 2, a new system is implemented to make enemies more powerful as you go up the floors. Whenever you proceed to the next floor, will gain a buff that persists throughout the expedition. Floor-based enemy buffs do not apply in Mirror Dungeon 1. I'm assuming it's similar to, like, Darkest Dungeon 2. You know, just the further you go down, the enemies, it will be, like, the same enemies, but they'll just get buffs. You know, sure, whatever. Makes sense. Kind of lazy design, in my opinion. Same with Darkest Dungeon 2. Like, I'd rather just have more difficult enemies than just the same enemies, but they have like 50% more health. Like, compared to, like, if you're on floor 1, you know, they have like 100% health, like just normal health. But once you get to like floor 5, they'll have like triple the normal health. Like, you know, okay, sure. I mean, whatever. New ego gifts, 45 total, Abno events, 25 total, and combat encounters against Abnos will be added. Sure, makes sense. New Abno events is exciting because that opens the door for Season 3 egos and IDs and whatnot. And combat encounters against Abnos is going to be noteworthy for Railway, so we can maybe get a sneak peek at some of those. Original universe and events could heal sinners, power them up, or provide a chance to recruit. Yeah, these are like the skip nodes, the good nodes. these are the skip nodes. Those are the best ones. As identity levels are fixed upon entry, power-up options will be removed. Yeah, that's what I said. Makes sense. Healing and recruitment will also be removed and integrated into rest stop and shop events. Okay. Rest stops can heal sinners, spend cost to additionally deploy or change identities and egos. So I guess your team is fixed until you hit a rest stop. Okay, that's interesting. So you're locked in. Sure. Spend a cost to heal larger amounts of HP. Spend cost to additionally deploy or change. Sure, so similar to the rest stop. You can spend cost to purchase listed ego gifts. Okay, sure. You can spend cost to change one skill from the list. What the fuck? Possible combinations listed below. Changing skill 1 to skill 3 requires it. What the fuck? Wait, what the hell is that? So you can to change one skill from the listed identity. So like, let's say I have Sinclair. I can swap his skill 1 to skill 2. So does that mean I get 5 skill 2s and 1 skill 3? Or is it like you change the occurrence rate? So like, if you swap skill 1 and skill 3, do you only get like 1 skill 1 in your deck and then 3 skill 3s in your deck? Or does it turn the skill 1 into a skill 3 and you get 4 skill 3s and no skill 1s? I don't know how it works, but that's spicy. I think that's really cool. Sure. Following features will be added to improve the player convenience. Ego gifts list. Yeah, I do like that, because that was fucking annoying as shit. I'm assuming this also applies to to Story Dungeon too. So I like that. Using the preset button, you can load up the setup of identities and egos previously used. That was in the Hell's Chicken dungeon. I did greatly enjoy that. That was very nice. Presets are saved individually for each mirror dungeon. Yeah, sure, whatever. This is very nice. And then direction you can move on the current node will be displayed. Sure, whatever. Ego resources is now fully carried over. So yeah, they are changing it from the story dungeon as well. Very cool. Ego threat spin tier displayed during setup. What the fuck? I can't even see what's going on in these screenshots. I guess this is cost, the currency. Ego thread spin tier. Okay, so yeah, this is a. What the fuck? How do you have an uptie 1 Sangre de Sancho? How do you have an uptie 1 Sangre de Sancho, but then you have an uptie? What the fuck? Okay, dude, these devs are crazy, I guess. Anyways, come on, give me the smaller pen. Yeah, there we go. You can see the thread spin tiers of Ego during setup phase. Buffs from events are easier to check. A button to check the buff gain from an event will be added. Sure, I don't, oh, whatever. Types and affinities effective against the enemies will be shown below combat nodes. That's very nice. Adds at least a little bit of strategy, which is cool. Feature of event choices have been selected before showing their. The feature of event choices that have been selected before showing their outcomes in advance in subsequent encounters. What the fuck? Wait, hold on. What the hell does that mean? The feature of event choices that have been selected before showing their outcomes in advance in subsequent encounters. Oh, I see what it means. It means you don't have to memorize all of the Abno encounters in the question mark nodes, because before you it shows their outcomes in advance in subsequent encounters. So like once you encounter an Abno and do their check, you no longer have to memorize which is the correct one. You know, for the good results. You know, it'll just tell you in subsequent encounters once you do it once. what the outcome is. So that's huge, actually. That's like really good. Okay, I kind of like that. Oh my god, dude. Following changes will apply to Mirror Dungeon 1 as well. As well when Mirror Dungeon 2 is added. When starting a Mirror Dungeon 1, you can select up to 5. Yeah, sure. As ID levels are fixed, enemy levels would be adjusted. And ally levels are fixed at 30. Enemy levels are between 25 and 34. Sure, whatever. In the process of adding an identity or ego to the team by spending cost, you can now replace IDs and ego you already have. Sure, IDs and ego used in the team before don't require any new cost to deploy again. Okay, so you can tag them out. It's just buying them. You're just buying them for use, and you can tag them out at stops. Sure. Gift prompts that randomly appear after a combat encounter offer one fixed gift instead of choosing from 3. What the hell? Oh. So, okay, I see. So it just gives you random one. Starting gift and floor bosses still present 3. Okay, sure. Picatula and Avno battles have generally increased stats. Okay, sure. I mean, yeah, who fucking cares? Baba Yaga no longer appears in floor boss encounters. Holy shit, dude, we win. We've won. The number of enemies that appear in certain floor boss stages have been adjusted. Okay. Tweaks have been made to the deployment process. Sure, whatever. Mirror Dungeon 1, the number of diverging paths has been reduced from 4 to 3. Okay. Changes in MD1 stages change so that you can earn cost in them. Yeah, okay, sure. Fix certain gifts not working. Cool. Fix the second effect of Phantom Pain. Yeah, they, and improve visibility. Sure. I mean, it's a lot of Mirror Dungeon changes, and I honestly don't really care about them. But sure. You know, you're not here for my takes on Mirror Dungeon. Obviously, you're here for these. I probably could have skipped those. I'm kind of stalling, but it's okay. Do we want to start with the open one? We'll start with the closed one first. Red Eyes. This is like Spider Bud or something from Corp. I remember. Tet tier. She does not have a Tet tier ego, so this is free to equip, basically. Okay, so it's Lust Slash. Sure. It basically the same affinity as I Can Cook Anything. That's neat. On hit, inflict bind next turn. If target has X plus bind, inflict plus coin drop. If target speed is lower than users, inflict slash fragility next turn. Ooh, I like that. I like that. That's nice. Okay. So she has a lot of setup tools, actually, because her base ego also applies 1 fragile. So that's pretty good. I actually like that. Indiscriminate, sure. Inflict bind, inflict plus coin drop. If target speed is lower than users, inflict slash fragility. So it's the same exact thing, but targets randomly. I assume the numbers are better. On Clash win, inflict bind next turn 3 times per turn. I kind of like that. It's a good support ego, and it's free to equip, obviously. But Ryoshu is very very flexible. Chef Ryoshu is very flexible, so you can probably get a lot of use out of this. And I assume she's going to support it because obviously we see Lust, so that's probably going to be in it. And I just based on the color scheme, I imagine it's going to be like Envy. Because it's a lot of purple, so I assume it's Envy Lust combination, and then like something else, I don't know. But Chef Ryoshu can fuel this herself if that's the case, which is really, really nice. And I mean, Slash Fragility, I think this is the first Slash Fragility skill of note in the game right now. I think this is Wrath Fragility, right? Yeah, this is Wrath Fragility. So this is huge. Slash Fragility this is the first Slash Fragility skill we have in the game, I'm pretty sure. Or if it's not the first one, it's the first notable one. So this is like huge. This is absolutely huge. Depends on how much fragility it adds, but like, oh my god, dude, this is crazy actually. This is really nice. And then Eyes Open. Hay tier, sure. And it's a Envy ego this time. Okay. AoE targets 3 AoE slash envy. Ooh, I like that, actually. AoE slash, we had very few AoE slash options. I actually really like this, because, the reason why is because the only other notable AoE slash was Isong's 4th match Flame, which obviously I keep talking about it because I like it. It's very cheap. You know, 5 Wrath is kind of expensive at first glance, but Wrath kind of does end up stacking up because a lot of meta IDs just have Wrath. So you do get a bunch of it. And then, you know, AoE slash is good. The problem is it competes with Wishing Cairn, and Wishing Cairn is super good when compared to his Spice Bush ID, because Wishing Cairn gives sloth fragility to enemies, and if you overclock it, it can give AoE sloth fragility to enemies, which is really, really nice. So these two are very good, just like on their own, and they're competing with each other. But if I were to pick, I would like to use Wishing Cairn more than 4th Match Flame. But 4th Match Flame just has a more useful niche. So having an AoE slash means that you can switch from 4th Match Flame onto Wishing Cairn now, which is really, really nice. AoE targets 3. If target's main speed is lower than users by a certain amount, gain point power. Okay. If target has X plus bind, deal more damage. If this skill staggers or defeats a target heal user and an ally with least by portion of max health. Wow. Okay, I actually... So they do play into each other. The two Spider Bud egos play into each other a little bit. That's cool. Same here. Yeah, same here. Except targets randomly. If this unit is healed more than a certain portion of max HP this turn, gain attack power up next turn. Ooh, wait. I really like these, actually. This is nice. It definitely seems less cumbersome to use than 4th Match Flame. I'm thinking about her passive, 4th Match Flame passive. It's not for everyone, because you have to keep track of it on your own. It's like, you have to time it yourself. And sometimes it's hard to keep track of every 4th skill on Ryoshu, because you'll use it like 4 turns in the past, so you kind of forget about it sometimes. And I mean, the damage is good. Mostly you just use it for the upfront damage, because like the burn no one really cares about, and then attack power up you don't really care about. So I mean, this seems probably better. It definitely at least has some synergy with the Tet tier 1, which is nice. And I mean, you know, she can inflict bind with the Tet tier passive, and then, you know, if target has X plus bind, deal more damage. Again, AoE is very strong against single targets, single target Abnos. People again still don't really understand, but if an Abno has multiple parts, AoE will target multiple parts of the Abno and hit them multiple times. So, you know, if you, I'm thinking like against a single Abno, if you inflict bind, because obviously if you're playing against multiple enemies, it's a little harder to get everyone to have a lot of bind. So, if I'm thinking mostly the usage is probably going to be against single targets, because it's a lot easier against one big Abno to achieve this and achieve this. So, you know, that's pretty good. And then also, this Predator passive can proc off of outside healing sources, from what I understand. So, if you don't need to trigger this. It is good sustain though, and I like sustain, because we don't use G Gregor as much anymore. Like you have not seen me use G Gregor at all in any of my videos, I don't think, besides like the very early ones, because he just kind of got faded out of the meta. And also I just like Liu Gregor more. Personal preference, but you know, there's a lack of healing. So that's very nice. And then, as I was saying, you don't need to proc this in order to activate her passive, because you can use outside sources of healing, like Fluid Sac is the one that comes to mind the most. You can also use like Pursuance, maybe. Those are like the main two. But, you know, if units healed more than a certain portion of its max HP this turn, gain attack power up. So that seems really, really good. Overall, this seems fantastic. I mean, I'm probably going to use it over 4th Match Flame. Depends on the numbers, but AoE, almost certainly has more damage potential than 4th Match Flame does. Even though her 4th Match Flame hits like an absolute truck. This theme seems really nice. And just for the Wrath Slash, it's a very desirable niche right now because there's not many other options. So that's very cool. And then the last thing we have is Hong Lu. This is probably the most anticipated one. I didn't mean to put it at the end, but it's just how it is, you know? I didn't mean to put it at the end. K-Corp Class 3 Excision Staff, Hong Lu. Sure. So we got very nice Sin lineup. Again, I like to see this. It's the same with the Isang one. Pride skill 1, very cool. Gluttony and then Sloth, very cool. I love that. Slash, Blunt Slash. So he's mainly Slash, but his skill 2, I imagine, is going to be used quite a bit. So it's like Slash and Blunt mixed damage. Okay. And then 1, 2, 2. Sure. We'll start reading. Gain coin power against targets with Rupture. Okay. We'll see. On hit, inflict Rupture. On hit, if target has X plus Rupture, heal. So he has lifesteal. Okay. That's neat. And then above a certain percentage of HP, gain coin power. On hit, inflict Rupture. On hit, inflict Rupture. Count by the amount of K-Corp Ampule. Okay. K-Corp Ampule. Turn start at less than X. Heal by a portion of max HP based on effects count. Okay, so he has like a sustain thing. At X plus count, the unit dies. Okay, so he overdoses. Okay. Okay, jeez. My bad, guys. Okay, sure. Inflict Rupture count by the amount of K-Corp Ampule. Deal more damage based on K-Corp Ampule. Okay. On use, gain K-Corp Ampule next turn. When hit, if less than a certain percentage, heal and gain K-Corp Ampule. After this, gains Fragile every turn for the rest of battle, once per battle. So I imagine the Fragile effect is once per battle, not the Ampule gain effect, because that would make very little sense. Okay. I kind of like this, actually. He's going to be moving up and down in health a lot, it seems like, because he's going to gain Fragile, so he gets hit like a truck, then he heals back up, then he gets hit again, and it's just kind of like a cycle. Okay, I get it. At the start of the turn, give K-Corp Ampule to the ally with the lowest HP percentage. Sure. This seems like a pretty mid passive, because most of the synergy seems to come with this. And above a certain percentage of max HP. I mean, like, if you're just starting a battle at 100%, this would get bonus damage, so resetting on Railway would be good. Can I see it being... I'm honestly more excited for the Sinclair than this one, I think. I mean, it's a Rupture ID. They're both Rupture IDs. So maybe Rupture will be important in Railway. But 2 coins... 2 coins is kind of rough. On hit, inflict Rupture. If target has X plus Rupture, heal by a portion of damage dealt. If target has X plus Rupture, heal by a portion of damage dealt. Like, the self-healing thing is kind of whatever. The self-healing gimmick. I'm not really trying to get hit in the first place. And gaining Ampule is hard. If you're not getting hit, gaining Ampule is hard. It's kind of like a She Section ID. Because you have to be below a certain percentage of HP to gain Ampule, unless you want to just use Guard. Like, that's one of the main things that I'm noticing, is you have a hard time getting Ampule. You probably will have a hard time getting Ampule, because he has no way to lower his own health. He has to get hit in order to lower his own health, which means either you have to choose, if he is fast, you have to choose not to clash with things, which is like removes the advantage of being fast in the first place. And if he is slow, then you know, being slow is just not good. Just generally, just not good. Like, you'll get hit more, which is desirable, but you can't redirect clashes, so you have less control in a battle, which is just not good. So, like, I don't know, this seems kind of antithetical to my playstyle personally. Because, again, I don't like getting hit. And if you don't get hit, then this entire portion of the ability is gone, and that's the only way he has to inflict rupture count as a rupture ID. So I mean, what are my hopes for the Honglu? Is it better than Ting Tang and Kurakumo? Time will tell, but I'm leaning towards probably not. Kurakumo because Cloud Cutter is super good, and he's a great generalist, and Ting Tang because he's decent in combat, but his support passive is turbo nuts. This support passive is like pretty useless. It's not as bad as Kurakumo's support passive, but you know, I'm thinking like in Railway, if you need Rupture, he's there, but if you don't need the Rupture, he's pretty much just like dead weight on the bench. He provides little to no value. So I don't think you would really want him. I don't know. I mean, currently I don't think he has a place in the meta as it exists, because the meta right now is just you want high speed on everything and you want to outclash everything. So, you know, if there's enemies that end up being like designed to be unclashable, like what comes to mind is like the Fairy Festival Abno that we saw in the dungeon has unclashable skills. You know, if there's enemies that end up being unclashable, then I could actually see it being useful, because you would be able to regenerate all of your health and be able to play with the health dynamic with the lifesteal and the ampule effect and bonus damage. You turn your lifesteal into damage. I could see it, but right now I don't think he has a place in the meta. So I'd say I'd give him probably a 5 out of 10 prospectively. I'm gonna pull him, obviously, like I do with every ID, but I'd say he's probably like maybe a 5 out of 10. And Sinclair, the other Sinclair is like a 7 out of 10, I think, in terms of like how effective I think they're going to be. I think the 2-star Sinclair is probably a 7 out of 10. So, you know, the only problem is, like, a 7 is good. 7 is as good as I've rated, like, 3-star IDs in the past. But it's competing with 10 out of 10 Sinclair, so it's not as good as it seems. But it has serious potential. That Sinclair has potential. This Honglu, I'd say probably a 5. Just right now, he's not conducive to my personal playstyle, and I feel like a lot of people kind of share that idea. So, I mean, you know, if he has Giga Crack numbers, but like I'm not super excited with 1 coin, 2 coin, 2 coin. You know. And then Blunt Slash is kind of awkward of a damage lineup, because, you know, he half benefits from Gaze and half doesn't. And then, you know, again, now that we have the Spider Bud Ryoshu with Slash Fragility, he like half benefits off that. I'm assuming his skill 3 is his main nuke skill, because it deals more damage and above certain HP gains coin power. But like, to get, like, the setup is so awkward. Again, it's like a She section ID. Like, the setup is so awkward, I feel like. Because you have to be above a certain percentage of HP, but in order to get the more damage, you need Ampule, right? So if you want to maximize the damage on the skill, you need Ampule. To get Ampule, you need to be on low HP. And then, if you want to get the bonus coin power, you need to be on high HP. And, like, you have to get hit in order to get the Ampule, so you can't even do, like, a 1-turn setup with him. it would have to be like a 2 or 3 or 4 turn setup with him in order to get him low enough and then also get him hit to gain the Ampule. So, I don't know. This seems really awkward. I give it like a 4.5 to 5. Like, I personally don't have high hopes for this one, boys, unfortunately. Let's see what people are saying. You know, it's the best part is the Twitter review. I don't know how the fragile on his passive works. As long as he doesn't get attacked, it's fine, I think. Yeah, but the problem is you want him to get attacked. Which opens the possibility that he may not be a tank, since getting fragile would just make him useless in tanking, since more ampule equals die faster. Yeah, but more ampules equals more damage. So, you know. Seems like a unit you won't fully need in current meta. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. From coin amount and heal function, your role seems quite worrisome, like Ishmael. Skill 3, although capped by the deadly passive, looks interesting, though. I mean, like, I don't really care about the die passive, the die part of the passive, because it seems like it's hard to even get a lot of ampule in the first place. So, I don't know. It's just like, like, I don't know. It doesn't seem that good, to be honest. It's so overreal. My lunacy won't be happy about this. Alright, I mean, Honglu simps, they're kind of starving, actually, now that I think about it. I don't think Honglu's gotten, like, anything, almost, since launch. He's gotten very little. I will pull some, but rather not spark him. KK Honglu still rules. Yeah, pretty much. Bro sounds like a menace paired with 7 association. How good he will be depend on the numbers, but he looks a lot of fun. Seems like a healer who plays a game of chicken. See, that's what, like, that's kind of what my idea is. Like, you want to be riding the line between, I'm assuming this threshold here and this threshold here are going to be very similar. So, you kind of want to be riding the line going back and forth between, you know, between the health thresholds so that you get hit, gain ampule, and then, you know, at turn start you would heal, you know, back above the thresholds, and then, you know, you'd get hit again, gain more ampule, you'd heal, go above, get hit again, and you kind of be riding the line, kind of thing, and you'd still get, like, above the certain percentage of HP, but, like, and you'd have lifesteal and stuff, but, you'd want to maximize your ampule gain, because it not only gives you more sustain, but also gives you more damage here, and more synergy, rupture count synergy, because getting a lot of rupture count in a rupture team is probably the most important thing. So, I don't know, I don't have high hopes. I'd say like 5, maybe 4. I'd say like, he seems really awkward. I don't know, I mean, that's my take. It's not that good, in my opinion. If not, I mean, his Kurakumo is super good. Kurakumo has a terrible passive, but he's still used because his in combat is super good. Ting Tang has a middle-ish in combat usage, but his support passive is turbo cracked. This guy seems to have a like pretty bad support passive, but also his combat potential does not seem nearly as good as Kurakumo to justify it. So, I don't have high hopes. I think he's probably about a 5 or a 4. But, you know, I'm open to being wrong. If he has Giganuts numbers, then sure. But I kind of doubt it. That's my take. So, you know, Spider Bud Egos, very good. Look fantastic. Very excited to play with those. I think those are going to be very, very powerful. The new Sinclair, insane rupture synergy potential, depends on his numbers, but I have high hopes for this. And then new Honglu, looking dicey. I'd say. So that's my take. Yeah, a little bit low energy today because, again, I mean, it's thunderstorming outside, so it's like nice and chill. I'm like, again, freshly woken up, so You know, and I'm a little dehydrated maybe, so I'm gonna go eat something, maybe drink some water too. And catch you in the next video. I'm assuming in a couple days when the update drops. I don't know if I'll record Mirror Dungeon 2 because I don't give a fuck about Mirror Dungeon. So, you know, I mean, if you would be interested in my blind playthrough of like Mirror Dungeon 2, then sure, like just let me know in the comments and I'll do it. But like I have no intention of recording my blind playthrough because it's probably gonna be like a lot of boring nothing like autoing, which is just not interesting. So, you know, let me know. And let me know what you think about Hong Lu and Sinclair, because, you know, yeah, I think, you know, again, my takes have never been wrong in the past. Every single time I review an ID, I'm always right. It's kind of miraculous. So, you know, that's my take. If you want to share your opinion, then feel free. I'll read it for sure. But, you know, until next time.